Hey, and welcome to the final tornado episode with us three. There you go. Timmah and John.
Well, hey.
Hello. Hello. How are you, gentlemen?
Very
Good.
well.
Good. We're just discussing how refraction helps Tim before the show, which was quite a funny conversation. We had a good day, John?
Oh yeah, it's been wonderful. Caught a train into the middle of Sydney, walked around with my daughter for about 2 hours or so, and then she went back to uni. I went back to Parramatta and had a look around there, and like that. It was all good. Perfect day for it.
Nice.
Hmm.
Good. Glad you had fun.
Yeah.
Has your day been okay, Tim?
Oh, so good. I'm yawning. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was good. Thursday morning, so took Bubs to the pool. And yeah, very low drag kind of a day. Very good.
Nice.
How about
Those are
yourself?
good days. Not too bad. Slept okay. We did. I did a dual live stream last night. It was a last minute sort of thing with Moz. We were watching the SLS Artemis taking off to go to the moon.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No one's landing on this one, are they? Are they just doing a flyby?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're looping around the back of it and coming back.
Yep.
Just to prove that they can do it. Which
Yeah.
is pretty cool, to be fair.
Yeah. Technology's come a long way since they faked the first one. No.
Allegedly.
That is a joke.
You say that.
I could see like someone typing already.
They wouldn't do that, Tim.
No.
We struggled
While
to get
Stanley
to
Kubrick is a great director, we did actually land on the moon. Just to clarify.
The only people who doubted it were idiots. Because, if anyone was going to spread rumors that it wasn't real, it'd be the Russians, but they believed everything that they saw the Americans were doing. So why does somebody sitting in a bloody computer keyboard even start typing that rubbish?
Yeah. We all got to believe true things across this beautiful flat earth of ours.
Yeah.
Before we go any further down the rabbit hole, should we read the chat?
Let's.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That's not in the chat.
Tiff says, hello, everyone. Hope all are well. Today's last day of the tornado build. Please don't hit that. No, please do hit that like button on your way in. It'd be much appreciated because it gets me extra hobnobs. There we go.
Yeah. GM says, greetings, Tiff. Hello. Oh, no, that's not right. Greetings, Tiff. Hello, everyone else. You survived a re-entry. Then, Tiff, I had to turn the American chat off. The view panel of experts were just too much. Yeah. There's that.
Yes, I got a nice, easy one. Julian says, morning, all.
Good morning. And he says, watch your panel. Hello.
Yeah. Matthew says, good morning. This must be the penultimate episode. So we're pretty close to finishing last episode. No, this is the last episode. Penultimate is last but one. Yeah.
Patrick says, g'day all.
Hello. Bob says, good morrow, good people. Drafted post office won't take big parcels. Courier to be ordered for Tiff.
Yeah.
Oh. How big's the bloody parcel?
TBG is in. It says, hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hobby Time says, hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello, James.
Adam says, currently trying to turn on my old MacBook and it's going poorly. Afternoon, all. Hello. Hopefully it's
The
up top now.
files are in the computer.
Trevor's in. Hello, all from a sunny Sussex.
Are you trying to say Trevor's got a speech impediment?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying I've got a speech impediment because whereas he would say sunny Sussex, I would say sunny Sussex.
Ah.
It's like Sid the Sloth.
Slip, slop, slap. Slip on a shirt, slap on sunscreen, and slap on a hat. Yeah.
The last dandelion. Matthew says, I'm blue tacking things down to my painting handles, ready to primer and paint. Living the rock and roll lifestyle.
Nice.
Yeah. Bob, are they going to tell us what's on the dark side of the moon? I doubt it. They can't communicate from the dark side of the moon.
Yeah, they'll come out of it again, but it won't be a nasty
will they?
base. Well,
We already know it's there. It was in that Transformers documentary.
Yeah.
Julian says, looping the moon, Tim. Hopefully not for the same reason Apollo 13 did. Well,
No.
they had to anyway. But yeah, I mean, it was a wonderful launch. I think everyone at the point where they're expecting it, where they remember seeing the shuttle blowing up, everyone's just going, "Oh, please don't, please don't, please don't." No, it was wonderful that it all went so well. It was great to watch.
Yeah. It is always cool seeing, our space endeavors.
Yeah,
Like the fact we've got self-landing rockets and stuff now is mental. It's so cool.
Yeah.
You're right.
TBG says, hi, Julian. Bad news. We're scrapping plans to build a sub. We're going to send you to the moon instead.
Yes. Bob says, flat Earth. No cats would have pushed everything off the edge if it was.
Oh,
true.
Gary's in. Afternoon, chaps.
Hello, Waitrose.
Hello.
Don't forget, everyone, we have Waitrose's live stream tonight at 8 p.m.
Get amongst it.
Yeah.
Julian says, Mikey says, Tiff says, Julian puts down orange squash due to not wanting to spray it all over the monitor at that accent.
Yes. Adam, it's from uni, this old thing. It's 12 years old. 12 years old isn't old.
Adam says, it's working.
Little Anakin. It's working. It's working.
My laptop's 17 years old.
Jeez. Yeah, it's old for a computer.
Yeah.
Neil says, good afternoon, all. Made it for the last episode. With good news, I was offered the role I interviewed for last Thursday. Woohoo! Gives me 3 weeks to finish my GR1.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Well done, buddy. Deet says, I'm blue tack at thing tack, a thing, yeah, a blue tack a thing, oh my god. I think Deet has had a stroke.
Yeah. I translated from Belgian, that means good morning, afternoon, evening.
Yeah.
He also says, loved the launch live stream. Thanks for that, lads and lasses.
All right. Adam, Julian, I done the good old Armageddon Russia cosmonaut trick. Hit it with a wrench.
Yeah. Oh, indeed, it says, do admit, I was so tempted to start my SLS kit now. Yeah, I saw, Saturn V and Artemis kits in a store today and was like, oh, I could do that. Yeah.
You absolutely could. You'd probably enjoy it as well.
Oh, yeah.
GM says, Bobby, good work. I doubt we will need the safety fuses now. Oh, dear. Anyway, should we get down to the desk?
Sure.
Yeah.
As the kids say.
That one.
Boom. Bing, bang, boom.
Bing, bada, boom.
Deet says, I send engineer, comes a KGB agent with a wrench, pull up next to the spacecraft.
I send engineer.
I need to put the front wheels on this.
Okie dokie.
Problem is, I don't know where to put them.
All right.
There's the boomala boomala.
So I'm looking for the
And the carriage doors. Oh crap! Yeah. Oh no, the wheel's still on through.
Oh, crapulent.
Julian says, Adam reminds me of Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. Repair procedure number 1 has kick it. Mikey, was that SOP in Remy? No, SOP was hit it with a hammer and then just stick duct tape around it.
I feel like giving things a knock is just a diagnostic tool.
Oh,
It is. If it sounds solid, then it's fine.
that's percussive maintenance, yes.
Yeah. If it sounds rattly or loose, then you need to tape it up.
Like, I know going into engine spaces and stuff, I always put my hand over pumps and stuff like that just to, make sure the vibration wasn't doing anything
Unusual.
weird. Yeah. It doesn't really say that, but you kind of just know what normal feels like.
Yeah.
Of course, sometimes there's nice, easy telltales that something's gone wrong, like a contractor was careless with a ladder and knocked a gauge off, and there's seawater pissing up against the roof.
Yeah.
Which, that's always fun. And then they just bugger off without telling anyone.
Yeah. Sounds like anything that Airbus would do on Orions.
Yep, right. Looks good from my house. And then they just go home.
D says, P.S. My A10C has 2 legs of the 3. Continues to progress very smoothly. Doubt she'll be finished in a week, though. Lots of parts still to go, but such a dream of a kit. Next, Seeking.
Seeking
Wonderful.
what?
I do like a Seeking.
That's a Pokemon.
Seeking, is it?
Seeking, yep. It's what Goldeen evolves into. See? I'm still up on the original Pokemon. Gen 1.
He's still down with the kids, aren't you, Tim?
Yeah. I started to lose the whole Pokemon crowd when they were like, how about an ice cream with eyes? It's like, oh, okay. Might have lost me.
Silly.
How about a sentient garbage bag? What will we call it? Oh, Trubbish.
Oh, there was
isn't a joke.
a poodle my daughter was telling me about. It's made of dough. I can't remember the name, but just give me a sec. I'll get the names.
Kudo. Paul says, evening all. Hello, Paul. TBD, I think they fixed the toilet on the Orion. Excellent. Yes, they had a problem with one of the filters on the toilet. That could have got messy. Deet says, yep, no more floaters up there. It was the urine filtration system, wasn't it? Dieter says, about the Seeking heli, I have to build 3 now. Uncle wants one too. You'll have fun. Julian, Tim, are you saying you know what a vibrator feels like? Oh, I have slightly misunderstood. Innocent look. Trust Julian. Dieter says, what do you call a smart armored fishbowl? A think tank.
Huh.
Very good.
So I got the names of those Pokemon that my daughter was telling me about. One's, it's made out of like cookie dough. Well, bread dough, really. It's called Fido, Fidough, and it evolves into a dash bun, as in dash hund, but it's a bun and it's made out of brioche and that.
Well, it's just weird.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, no thanks. I'll stick to my Geodude.
Is that the point? Is it that the point where the animators ran out of ideas and just started looking around the office at what they could see?
Like, it's like a South Park episode from 20 years ago. Got to catch them all. And they're just like, why? Oh, look, a new one, penguin. And?
Oh, is that the ma'am, I want a chin Pokemon.
That's it. Now, I've got some... I'll just give this a wash. So this is Ep13 Starship Filth. So it's like for people who don't know, it's like just a grey colour. It's like just a dark grey. It's literally Starship Filth. So I'll give that a bit of a wash. So I just mix that with a bit of odorless solvent and give it the treatment.
Nice.
Cripes. I've got a couple of ants around my desk. I've got nothing to eat here. I don't know what's going on.
They're after your feet.
Yeah, they're crazy up here as well. They just bloody everyone's got them at the moment. And it's like the house is spotless. There's no food, but ants are just out and about.
Oh, come on.
Made a good little mistake here. You know the very thin white decals that go on the nose cone?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't have my little ramekin of water that I use for decals and stuff, so I just popped it in my cup of water and then completely forgot about them. So I just had like 3 really thin strips just floating around in there. I've had to like fish them out without busting them up.
Yeah.
Gem, Timmah. Idiot paint contractors in the RAF, Richmond big fuel storage tanks dropped a gantry onto a outflow fuel line. We had the valves off before they cut the 12-inch pipe clean through.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, we had a good one with who was it? They were hydraulics contractors, and they were working on the it wasn't a gantry crane, it was the flight deck davit, and which is like just forward of the bridge on the flight deck of the LHD. And basically we'd repaired it, and they were doing load testing. So they'd put like, this big kind of parachute thing down into the water beside the wharf and the ship.
Yeah.
And then they fill it up, and that's a couple ton. And then they load test with that. And basically, as they were lowering it, they lowered it onto the shore power cables.
Oh.
Which, supply the ship with power when there's no generators running. So as you can imagine, it's a lot of electricity.
Yeah.
And they lowered a couple ton water sack over the wires, the bloody cables, which that was fun.
GM says Hagrid Pentagon. Don't think they'd ever let Hagrid in the Pentagon.
It needs bigger doors.
Trust Julian. Indeed, Mikey. I can always be relied upon to channel the level suitably low, except if there are miners around, of course. Yes. And I appreciate that. Dieter says pentathlon or pentagon. Yep, that rolls off the tongue too. Yeah. Marcus Canfield says, good afternoon, Mikey, Tim, and John. I hope all is well. Currently fighting with a 1/700 scale QE2 aircraft carrier. It's certainly not a shake and bake kit, and not what I expected from Trumpeter. Ooh.
Oh. Great subject matter, though. I do like that.
Julian says, Dieter, the Pentagon rolls off the tongue. Why are you eating it? Duke says, "Good day, all you beautiful people." Hello, Duke.
Hello, Duke. Yeah, you would have got the emails I sent you earlier, Duke. We had a conversation on the phone, a quick one, earlier today.
Okay.
Nice.
Paul says, "Nice gaggle of tonkers, guys." Thank you, buddy. Next week it'll be a nice gaggle of Lysanders.
Only if GM can play.
Do you mean Mr. Morris?
Oh, yes. That's the second time I've done that, eh?
It's the same initials. It's confusing, isn't it?
Wow.
Bet Looking Mally says, "Hello to Nodge's adoring fans."
Oh, stop it.
Dieter says, "Pentagon, our cookies here. So what do you want me to do with it except eat?" Yeah. I have no idea what they're talking about. I'm not down with the kids. GM says, "Julian, not eating, biting it to death." Ooh, sounds kinky. Right. Stick that in the blue sack. Oh, darn it. I keep forgetting to top up with water. Gosh darn it.
Oh, I guess landing you do. That'll go on later.
I've left mine off for now.
That looks pretty good, that stuff, John.
Well, once it dries a little bit more, I'll just wipe it all away. But it'll just, the deal is it just sticks in the pedal lines.
Yeah. I didn't think that far ahead, and I'm not going to use my normal panel liner on this one. Like I do it on World War II fighters, but on this one, it did look a little silly, I think, being that dark. So I'll wait for these decals to firm up a little bit and then get rid of this gloss.
The GR1s were quite glossy anyway.
Yeah.
Don't care. I won't go matte, but I'll go go satin or something. But the gloss just always ticks me off. Like I hate light reflecting off models. It irks me.
You're a fragile man, aren't you, Tim?
Yeah. Well, like it's not like other people's models irk me. It's just like my personal preference.
Yeah.
Like looking up at my bookshelf and stuff. Got pretty bright lights in here, so I'd like to be able to just see the paint jobs and stuff like that. I don't need to be blinded.
Where did we get up to, Modders? Duke says, "Good day, Mr. Pobby. Starting a fan club as we speak." Dieter says, "Mikey, we are talking about cookies. What else?" Hee. Paul says, "So which Lysander are you going to do?" We're doing the Airfix one, bud. The Airfix 148 Lysander. And John, you're adapting yours, aren't you?
It'll have a aftermarket conversion set to make it what they call it, the SD version, the special duties.
What the hell?
SOE.
Must have had a leak on this paint or something, because the top of it's gone completely square.
Yeah, that'll happen.
There we go.
So I'll be making mine a decal set from Berber.
I was riling my mate up a little earlier. Across my news feed, what do I see but a little puff piece from Win News Canberra on the HMAS Canberra, which is my old ship, and one of the little snaps of footage they have is a couple of my old stoker buddies sitting in the mess, just having some chow, and, big smiles and laughing and stuff. I was just paying him out. I'm like, you nerd, look at you. You love the Navy, don't you? So beers will be on him next time I'm in Sydney.
That's a card.
Paul says, hi, Mikey, and hi, Timbo. I assume Tiff is in there somewhere as well. Hi to you. Hello, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Deet says, PS made my Redbubble store. People interested and con permission will share in Discord. Yeah, it's fine, bud. Go for it. Tiff says, I am indeed, Mr. Poppy, always watching.
Always watching.
Adam says, I am finally back to building the Austin after 2 weeks. Wonderful. Matthew says, you got to try and do it with the voice on you. Always watching, Wachowski.
So be pleased to know, Mr. Poppy, that I'm forcing a bishop's finger down my throat. The Kentish Strong Ale, because I can. Hooray.
Well, that was unexpected.
Well, I fully expected it.
Duke says, I thought I was always watching people, Tiff. Jim says, blinded by the lights. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a hard one not to sing.
Springsteen.
Duke says, wrapped up like a douche, Jim. Jim says, what sets me off are figures with a gloss varnish. Nothing more toy-like. Yeah. Very true. TVD says, Nodge likes his Tonka dirty.
There's a couple of things I need to put on this. Now, I've misplaced. This is no word of a lie. Lost the rest of the clear sprue for the navigation lights and the whatever they call the what on an F-35 is called neots on the that thing, that laser rangefinder or whatever they call it.
Yeah, the casting on that was so bad I didn't even bother. Yeah. I looked at it and went, eh.
It was pretty bad. Yeah. But anyway, I'll put that aside. Let that soak in a bit. I'll soak out, one of the two. And
Paul says, I did the 148th Edward Lysander, a very fiddly kit.
It was, because it was a Garbia plastic. Now, I found the Edward PE stuff wonderful, had a lot of fun. But the actual plastic in the kit for the Garbia Eastern European thing was, nothing really fitted that well. It wasn't that much fun, but it's come up looking really well. But you're right, not a straightforward kit.
Right. Jim says, hello to the Tonka Trio. Hello, buddy. And he says, greetings to all the usual suspects in chat. Jim, I didn't see any weathering on that space rocket this morning. Heard a lot of BS, though. Jim, no, not Springsteen, Mr. Barley. Manfred Mann.
Yes, but Springsteen wrote the song.
Yeah. Paul says, Old Fat Unicorn is a Chardonnay. It has a rhino on the label. Adam says, people are so going to hate this Mustang, but I love it. Cool. Yeah. That's what I was looking for.
That's a weird bit of trivia to know. Why did you know that about Blinded by the Light.
Yeah, I didn't know anything.
Nah, John. Oh, I guess just being a big Springsteen fan, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, most likely. Most likely.
Here we go. Bruce Springsteen's first album, Greeting from Asbury Park, New Jersey. The first song, Blinded by the Light, starts off with Madman, Drummers, Bummers, and Indians in the Summer with a Teenage Diplomat. There you go.
Okay. Jenny says, be back in a bit, Carrie here. Okay, buddy. Oh, gosh darn it. I got to put the props in.
Oh, yes. And at the end, all
Oh,
lyrics by
good
Bruce Springsteen, copyright 1972.
Adam says, Timmah, ever played Saints Row?
You know, I haven't. Well, that's a lie. I had played, a little bit of, it was probably Saints Row 2, I think. But I had played it for maybe like 2 hours at a friend's house.
Yeah. Jim says, Timmah, we know that song because we were there. It's a good answer.
Well, like I know this song. Like, it's a banger song. I just didn't know that Springsteen wrote it.
Not many people know that.
Right. Adam says, a little is enough. Just think Purple Mustang.
Yeah.
Right. Got silver paint on my thumb. Bloody Nora. Dieter says,
Dieter!
fun fact, Springsteen is Dutch for jumpstone.
That makes sense. That sort of makes sense.
Crazy world. Duke Timmy, just like Bob Dylan, he wrote lots of songs for other people. Probably best he would have butchered them.
Yeah, I think he's just fishing for John on that one.
Yeah, clearly. We used to be mates, Duke and I.
Jim, I've never made it to the end of any Springsteen song. Always fall asleep before then.
See,
you made
the mistake. You made the mistake of letting people know that you cared about something.
Yeah. More fool you. You should know by now. Don't let people know you care about something. They'll rip you for it. It's like being in the forces and letting people know that you're frightened of something. Really daft idea. Because they will find a way of forcing you to confront that fear. As we did with our sergeant in the Falklands. Who
What was his fear? Being kissed by all his squaddies. I bet you've really helped him with that.
Had a crippling fear of bubble wrap.
What? A fear of bubble wrap?
Yep. To the point where if he heard it, it made him vomit.
Oh, that is weird.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's like a scene from Bad Boy Bubby.
So being supportive underlings, we forced him to confront that fear.
Twice a day.
Oh, no, all at once. The light for his office was by his on the far side of the room from the door by his desk. So we went in after he'd finished work, covered, left like a 6 foot gap between the door and the start of it, and then from 6 foot away from the door, we just wrapped everything in bubble wrap. We covered the floor in bubble wrap, wrapped his desk in bubble wrap, his seat, his phone, the light switch, everything.
Kidnapped his wife and kids, wrapped them in bubble wrap.
He came into work next morning, and because we'd left a 6 foot gap, he walked in, let the door close behind him, and then stepped onto the bubble wrap, heard it popping, so he jumped back, tried to get out, but then grabbed hold of this door handle, which was wrapped in bubble wrap. So he let go of it, and he couldn't move. Because just moving is causing the bubbles to pop. So it was making him feel sick and want to throw up. So he just stood behind the door watching and laughing.
And that's
Mad.
that's proper weird. Like that's an actual irrational fear, like a proper phobia.
Yeah. It was so funny. He was an idiot for telling us. Well, the thing is, well, because the light switch was by the desk on the opposite side of the room, he was in the pitch black and couldn't tell which way to go to sort of get away from it. Which made it even funnier for us watching through the window in the door. Because we were cruel like that.
Pobby says, I so love Dylan. I can't explain why. My brain's not working. GM says, Bob
I thought you were
Dylan.
saying, I got no explanation for that, but, yeah, no. Yeah, go on. Dylan, yes.
Yeah. Says, yeah, Bob Dylan. Nah, not, yeah, I assume that's Bob Dylan. There's a modern dude named Bob Dylan who is an awful person. Matthew says, yeah, I'm terrified of Kate Beckinsale. GM says, John Fogerty wrote, Rocking All Over the World. Status Quo made it a #1 song. Ha ha ha. Mr. Fogerty was unhappy.
Fogerty. It's like, John Farnham knocking back. It's a song. We Built This City. Later done by Jefferson Starship.
Jefferson. Following Ghost says, morning, everyone.
All right. I'm getting Starship filth all over my
We've lost another
knuckles.
subscriber.
Jefferson Starship filth.
All right. I need to go and wash my hands. Back in a mo.
Trevor says, does anyone know? Was that John singing then?
Nah, you heard nothing.
Trevor says, does anyone know the colour of the inside Ferret Scout car kit said silver? No. I think it's usually stuff like that's usually white.
Every ferret I've ever looked inside of is normally red.
Yeah. Red with pink squidgy bits.
Yeah.
Dorkasaurus says, good morning, evening, good people. Hello, Dorkasaurus.
Hey, Dorka.
How goeth the war? I can say that because John's not in. It won't trigger him. Yes, it was John singing. Tiff heard it as well.
Yeah, no, it was. I was just covering for him.
Steve says, good afternoon, folks. Hello, Steve. How are you doing, buddy?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, we have had a fun development on the Robin front.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's like starting to really like thrash around, like her legs and stuff, like starting to really kick.
Oh, when she goes swimming.
Well, yeah. Now apparently also not in the pool, like namely when she's resting on my tummy, and then kicks
Kicking
me
you in the nuts.
square in the nuts. Yeah, which has been good. She like got me twice. Bang bang.
So yeah, Bron was looking at a photo of her earlier, saying, "Look, normal sized baby body, really large Tim head."
Yeah.
So she's going to be about a year old before she can support her own head. Then she's going to be walking around with her head dragging on the floor. Joe says, "Hey, it's me for a couple of seconds. No, John, that song brought the end of rock and roll. Starship, we built this city. It was horrible. Good morning, afternoon."
I don't
Joe.
mind it. Something about I'm sorry, I'm going crazy. But yeah, it was the most popular song. But yeah, Grace Slick, the lead singer of Starship, hated it because we didn't write it and stuff. But the rest of their songs are crap. White Rabbit.
Jim says, Timmah, yeah, Bob Dylan, Mangled Burp, Dumper Truck, Rusty Springboard. The list goes on. Matthew says, tremendous neck muscles. Yeah.
What's that pedo probe gone? There. I'm going to have to put the accoutrement all over this thingus.
Jim says, Joe, I agree. That song, just shoot me, nauseating sound to it.
Yeah.
Knee deep in the hoopla.
Here's a little one, 4 months old today.
Oh, she is supporting her own head as well.
Yeah, she's
no
doing
need
very
for scaffolding.
Well. Nope, no. She's gorgeous.
That bow is huge.
Gorgeous little bubba.
Yeah. And now she can, when she's older and 18 or whatever, she can look back online and go, oh, Dad, why are we showing everyone those pictures? It's so embarrassing.
Dad.
Adam says, I have a random question for the panel. Timmah, this might be different for you being in the Navy, but what were each of the panel's favorite vehicle equipment to work on? Good question. Mine was Land Rovers. And Foden's, kind of.
Why?
Land Rovers are just easy to work on. And they're fun to drive. Yeah, they weren't overly complicated. Until you got to like the TDIs and TD5s, they were pretty simple. Even the Wolves weren't that bad. Because there wasn't that many electronics in them. It's just a lot of engine.
Right. So yeah, mine was the Hercules, the 730. Particularly the J model. So what I loved about working on the Herc is access, really, because most things, if you couldn't get it from the outside, you can get it from the inside. So half the jobs you're doing are out of the weather, mind you. They do rain on the inside, around about where forward of the wing box. But the J, when it came along, the changes with avionics made it more advanced technologically than the F-18 Hornets we had at the time, and to learn the difference and how it all, like 1553 worked and all that sort of stuff was, I thought, really interesting. And it, I still love them. Just awesome aircraft to work on, to fly in, all that stuff.
I'm going to say Tim's favorite is probably landing craft.
No. So landing craft actually have their own crews.
Yeah.
So like they have their own coxswain and their own stokers.
Yeah.
So they're like part of the ship, but not really. But being a stoker, so like marine technician, electrical.
Yeah.
I worked on everything from bloody pumps to the diesel engines to power generation, distribution, elevators, cranes, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I really liked. It's a bit of a weird one because it's a love-hate thing, but the distillers.
Yeah.
So like distilling seawater to create our tech water for cleaning gas turbines and aircraft and stuff like that, because obviously it needs to be below a certain
desalination plants. It's called desalination, isn't it? Removing the salt from the water.
Yeah, but through distilling, like they're distillers, so it's basically just a boiler, and then the water condenses and gets siphoned off and stuff. But there's only a couple of them on board, and without them, you can't clean clean gas turbines. You can't clean helicopters, all that stuff. So they're like a major thing, but no one really knows how they work except for, basically 2 people on board. And we kept them working however we could with whatever bits we could scavenge. So, the wiring was dog shit and the pipes were always a mess, but we kept them working and we kept them operational, and they were our babies. So, they were cool.
Yeah. I like working on Landys. James says, Timmah, get used to it. We often get kicked there.
Oh, and the classic Hornets were awesome to work on. Certainly as avionics, because everything was sort of accessible down the the avionics, what they call the avionics bays on the side. But there's certain areas that were just they're not designed to go wrong. But when they did, it would take weeks to fix, like wing fold mechanisms and stuff like that. It's a bit nutty at the end of it. Just because we didn't land on carriers, we didn't need to fold the wings. But when we did, they tended to go up and not come down again. So,
Is that because the mechanism got used so little?
Yeah. So, there'd be you'd fold the wing up and a wire could break. Yeah. And the bundle had about 500 wires on it, and it would take about a month or so to change.
Yeah.
As I said, I didn't do the job, but my troops would do it for me, and then I'd have to go out and sort of confirm that, this one is that one and all that sort of. Because you'd understand that none of them are coloured; they're all white. So you have to read the wiring numbers, and it's a bit of an art. I do miss my job at times.
That's one thing I don't miss about working on the Foden is doing the electrics. Bloody hated electrics.
I like electricity.
Yeah.
Like until you get into the stupid wizard stuff. When you start getting into electronic switches and all that stuff, it's fine. Like it's basically plumbing. Like it's just spicy water. Like it goes where it can flow to. And if it's not working, you just half split it and you find where it stops working. That's the problem. It'll either be a wire or a component. And the component has the crappy wizardy crap. You just throw that out and replace it with another one. Boom, plumbing. When you start getting into needing to wear static charge bracelets and all that greeny stuff, yuck.
Yeah.
You miss me with that.
No, with the Foden, they got a box on the side, and it's about 1 meter by 1 meter, but it's also about half a meter deep, and it's got 6 or 7 circuit boards that fill the whole box, one behind the other, and they're completely full of wires, and every wire's like a browny, sandy color, and with just the number on, you got to trace the bloody. Like John said, you got to get the bloody wiring diagram out and trace the numbers on the wires. Not my favorite job.
Well, I used to love the jobs that would take you weeks, and then or at least a week or so. It was always I found rewarding. So later on, when I had a job in Civvy Street, one of my bosses would come along, open up a switchboard, and go, "Holy crap!" And I was, "What?" He said, "Oh, I've never seen anything so neat." I'm just like, "Ah, yeah, that'd be why."
Yeah. One weird job to, or awkward job to do was replacing the seals. On the crane on the back of the Foden, you got the controller's seat, or the operator seat, and then in front you got the box with the levers on, and where the levers connect to the hydraulics. What the Recumex would do is they'd overload it, and the wagon would cut off the power to the crane so it didn't get overloaded, and then they would override it and carry on anyway. And what would end up happening would they'd blow the seals out the controls because it was the weakest point in the system. But in order to change them, you had to sort of unbolt the box, but you couldn't take it all the way off without taking all the stuff out underneath. So you had to sort of unbolt it, lift it up, and try and reach your hands up inside and replace the seals that way. But the first sign you'd have is they'd come in and go, "The crane's not working, I don't know why." And then you climb up on the controller seat and just see a puddle of hydraulic oil underneath it. You're like, "Yeah, I know what that is. Give me a week." Aussie Ian says, "Happy start to a long weekend, all." Yes.
Hello, Ian.
Paul says, "I take it she takes after her mum." We're talking about Robin, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you would think, but no, I was a cute baby as well. Just ask me, I'll tell you. But yeah, something happened along the way, as my papa would always say. So you were a beautiful boy, and then something happened, you big bloody ugly idiot.
Matthew says, "Is Robin holding her first Golden Demon Award?"
No, it's just a little laser thing that says 4 months. So we get a photo every month.
Shit. Oh,
Joe says, super windy and hot in South Texas. Hot just like Australia, except the only animal that wants to kill me is my wife. Ha ha! Ha ha!
Matthew, when we were testing the Wolf Land Rover, they overloaded it with 4 tons of weight and it could move. Yeah, it's a good vehicle, the Wolf. Bloody quick as well for a Landy.
Yep.
They're leaving service though in the next 3 years.
Oh, what a pity.
Oh, 4 years. Jim says, "Temps will be around 70 degrees for us, Joe." Oh, for fuck's sake. This other bloody arm went on no problem. GM says, "Joe, oh dear, you had rabies shot. Must be safe there." Adam, now I'll flip the question. What was the one thing you hated working on?
Orion aircraft. Technologically, the same age as a Hercules, as in, sort of early 50s. But whereas the J was totally redesigned, the J model was redesigned. They spent about 20 years developing what became the C-130J from the H3. However, the Orion, no. Like, the Hercules had symmetry logic to it. Whereas the Orion was just like, let's fit that in there. But, none of it made sense. Like, there's an engine that didn't have a generator. There's another engine that didn't have a hydraulic pump. And you sort of go, well, why wouldn't you have like quadruple redundancy? Oh, it's extra weight. Yeah, but it'll keep you alive, you idiots. I just hated that plane, and the people working on it were, literally they were saying, we're the only operational FEG, Force Element Group in Air Force, and I had coming from another FEG. I'm just looking around thinking, really, is that what you think? Because they had been in the Middle East for 12 years. They had just got back, but later on the Orions had, they totaled I think 22 years or so. So yeah.
For me, it was the Bedford, because the Bedford 4-tonner, in order to work on the engine, you just had to, on the back corner of the cab, you had a little flap that you opened up. You couldn't raise the cab on it to work on the engine. So it was a pain in the ass.
For me, reverse osmosis plants.
Oh, yeah.
Bane of my goddamn existence. So for like ship survivability, they're like, spread through the ship. So they're in a bunch of different compartments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, God. Like for anyone that doesn't know how that works, like you get drinking water from basically just filtering seawater through really high pressure through a series of membranes.
Yeah.
But god damn, like the filters are heavy. To do any maintenance, you get wet. The wiring sucked because like at any one time, probably 4 were good. And then, for the lifetime of the ship, people were cannibalizing from one to keep another one operational.
Yeah.
So wiring diagrams are useless. So you had to go in and figure it out for yourself and then work out how to fix it. And when you're going through 6 years of, bi-weekly maintenance and cowboy fixes from the original drawings, God damn. And then on top of that, they've got UV lamps inside them. It's like, a final stage. There's a UV lamp sterilization, which is a UV lamp horizontally inside another tube, which like, the now fresh water goes over like a jacket, except like the seal is terrible there. So a really common thing is like the plug that the UV lamp would just plug into floods and then shorts out, and god damn. Yeah, I hate everything about them. And they're really high pressure and everything's heavy. And so, if something goes wrong, it'll bloody hurt.
Yeah.
So glad I don't have to work on this.
So you didn't like him then, Tim, is what you're saying?
No, they were the bane. They were the bane. And, you always had to go right down the bottom. Like, you're talking literally on an LHD, like 6 flights of stairs.
Nothing's ever right next to the hatch, is it?
No. No. Like,
same with the Bedford.
Yeah, that's why, everyone who's ever, like, been on an LHD knows that, like, it's either your knees, your back, or your spirit, but one of them will break. The amount of stairs,
Yeah. There's 2 systems sort of like that, but not water filtration on the Ep13. But as far as I'm aware, they've caused no problems yet because, they're pretty simple.
June says, back. Welcome back, Julian. Paul says, I miss my job too. I love hydraulics.
Yeah. He gets to teach it, just not work on it anymore. Mind you, he's still got it back, so that's all right.
Ozzy says, reference the ferret interior question. The airfix instructions called for silver, and I know a lot of World War II British-made tanks were silver interiors. Yeah. Gem, a Buccaneer I flew, the main canopy would jam about halfway of travel on its rails. Would take 3 guys to lever it closed or open. It got jettisoned. Fine after that. Nice new one fitted.
Fine after that. Yeah.
Jim, what I don't like the most is rescribing panel lines and restoring detail on aircraft models. I just don't bother. I'm not that into aircraft models.
I was looking at the 72nd scale Hella Concorde kit yesterday, and raised panel detail and all that sort of stuff. But I thought, I'll give that a go, like if I needed to for free, sort of thing. And and there's I think Miss Modeler on YouTube is the worst kit FX ever produced and stuff. And I'm thinking, well, she did a pretty good job of it, so I might do one in the future. But they're huge. They're about the size of the Lego ones. They're massive.
Matthew says, only time I got in a ferret, everything was silver aluminium colour. Was told to keep my hands clenched as any hatches could take them off. Yeah.
Right. So I'm looking for... Got to put on more antennae and stuff. I'm just looking for where they are in the instructions.
Julian, I need to clean the spuds out my ears. Nodge said Orion aircraft, not Ryanair craft.
Yes. No, the AP3C is the Australian version of the P3C Orion that the Americans had. Like ours were very different inside.
Jim says, delicious taste of desalinated water in the morning. There's a big desalination place on Anglesey, and all the salt that they get from it, they make it into different flavored salts and stuff and sell them in the supermarkets and things.
Well, I can one up you for that. To keep our drinking water fresh as part of my duties as a water maintainer, I'd have to, go take samples from different faucets and stuff throughout the ship, and then test them and go, oh boy, this needs more chlorine, and then literally pour pool cleaner into our drinking water.
Oh, I imagine that would kind of make you not want to drink the water unless you have to.
You think that's bad? You should see what the inside of a potable water tank looks like when you do a tank clean. Yeah, there's a reason. We had this old dude, Godly, who's 60 something, and he's still a stoker. Yeah, and he would literally cart on crates of Monster Energy drink before a deployment because he's like, I'm not drinking that water, man. He'd always say that. He's like, how do you think I've lived this long? But fun times. But that's not an us specific thing. That's all ships. Maritime environments are not for the faint of heart.
No,
I guess not.
Adam says, let's spice it up more. Is there any that you never worked on but wish you did? And I won't allow Tiger because Tiger, I want reasons. And if you say Tiger, you're also a tad crazy.
Well,
no, I got to work on quite a few vehicles and stuff. Nothing that I particularly wanted to work on.
F111 would have been nice for maybe 10 minutes, but then a crazy lot of maintenance to keep them flying. Most of it would have been tank entries, a lot of tank entries, and a lot of people died doing that. So, I'm sort of glad I didn't.
That's something that we have in common. Bloody tank entries. Ugh. But let's see. I regret not going for subs or small boats. Because I didn't want small boats because the only place they are is Darwin, and I hate Darwin. Or if you're incredibly lucky, you're in Cairns, which is still bloody hot, but at least it's not Darwin.
Yeah.
But being part of a small crew, and they tend to be a bit. Yeah, it tends to be more like you just kind of you get the job done. It's not a whole bunch of bureaucrats and stuff, which the big ships are full of politicians and people. You can be really rubbish at your job and hide in a big crew. Subs or small boats, I think would have been really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything particularly. The only thing the course I wish I'd gone on would have been the explosives course. That'd been fun.
I'm glad I got close to the F-35 before, my
Retiring.
time was up. But they are a shit plane to work on. They're just, it's just terrible, and it's all to do with the what's known as the OML, the outer mold line.
Yeah.
It's just a thing that, like, all the people that made the decisions about how things were going to be run were people that, until we bought it, had absolutely no exposure to any sort of stealth compounds or anything at all. So they got rid of the two trades that were doing that daily, which were the surface finishes and the metal bashers. Surface finishes and crap. No, the metal bashers we used a lot. They did a lot of the composite repairs, but they didn't do any metal work because there was hardly any metal on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just shit, really. Like, the people that made the decisions should have talked to somebody over in America about what do we need and all that stuff, instead of just firing everybody first to afford new uniforms. It was just shit.
Yeah. 25 people watching, 15 likes so far. Matthew says, welcome to an episode of Timmah bitching like Victor Meldrew.
It's my favourite activity, mate, having a whinge.
Yeah. No, I'm good at it too. I think most ex-ADF people are good at whinging. Even civvies, of course. Like, this guy was a dick.
Jem says, Mirage EO gun switches failed daily. Was always 2 rounds in the breach waiting to fire. The odd round was known to fire on loading. Whoops.
Oh,
no. Paul says, I'm half pissed, my friends, and as a consequence, I'm really enjoying the banter tonight. Have a great Easter break, my friends.
Well, so Tippers, can you play the stream back and find out where my other bloody antenna went? It went in that direction. Where? Bastard, I only had 2 of them.
Jim says, to not restore panel lines and detail removed during sanding and seams filling is too amateurish for me. A pain in the backside, yes, but necessary for me. Yeah, I think the thing is with planes, I just don't care enough about them to worry about it. So I just don't bother. I'm just happy to get it done with. Junior says, you too, Mr. Pobby.
So, I'm never going to find that thing. So yesterday, in part of the members stream, I had a bit of news yesterday. I'll try to be quick, but I met the director of one of the, I'm going to say, probably the premier hobby store in Australia. They're in Sydney in about 5-6 locations. A place called Hobby Co. Anyway, the director asked me to come down and meet him at the warehouse and stuff. We had a yak for literally hours, about 3 hours or so. Net result is they've asked me to come on board as a product tester, a YouTuber, a blogger about processes and how we sort of do stuff. One of the brands that they import, well, a number of them, like Sparmax and Hasegawa and Bandai and stuff like that. But they bought these ones into the country, and a lot of people, I think, would remember that brand. Hello. So they've asked me, this is the first one they've given me to build and sort of test out and see how it goes. So we'll see how that goes. I've already found a major problem with the instructions, but more about that in the stream.
Yeah.
So, yay, there's that.
Jim says, Mr. P is half poppied. I've not done the bloody doors for the front undercarriage.
Oh, you could have one of mine. It fell off. There it is.
Jake says, Matthew, I don't believe it. What might do?
I found the antenna. It was next to the door. Thank you, God.
You're welcome. What I might do is just work on the bombs and then do the undercarriage doors if I get a chance.
Yeah. Speaking of antennas, I just realized I haven't actually cut out or painted the ones. Are they the ones that sit just after the canopy?
Yeah, there's two side by side. Yeah.
Yeah. I
They
kind
got
of went
broken.
sod that during the building process, and
Yeah, I tend to
completely
lose
forgot about them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
shall
this
try
has
to put
gone way past the point of being fun for me, this one. So I'm just like, just get it together.
Hey, John, do you
Matthew
want to
says-
see my impression of Mikey?
Go on.
Matthew says, I know, Duke. Just poured cola into my cold cup of tea. Laughing. Julian, Bobby and I working on new life jacket, half round 4-inch poly balls. You may look like a Dalek or a giant sheep.
Balls. I'm gonna get these on
Jim,
now.
enjoy your drinks, Mr. Pobby. Buttocks up.
Yeah. What is your tipple this evening, Mr. Paul?
Phil says, good afternoon, everyone. Just here for a quick tea break. Hello.
Hey, mate.
Speaking of tea, what is the paint colour tea?
Show us your tipples.
Junior says, you may look like a Dalek. No change there, GM.
Oh, get on there.
Adam, okay, last one on equipment for you beautiful panel. Is there any foreign craft or such you thought that would have been fun, interesting while you were in the military?
Ooh.
Good question.
I reckon Harrier could not be too upset to work on those, because you occasionally see just aircraft do things that they shouldn't really be able to do. I think that would be amazing. Mind you, it's like going to an air show and seeing most people flying around, like people in like GM in Mirages and stuff, because most of the time we'd wave them off and we wouldn't they disappear and then just sort of come back, and all the interesting stuff is done away from us. So when they come and do air shows and display flying and stuff like that, yeah, we're like school kids lining up, just wow, it's like we've never seen it before because we sort of haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
But Harrier would be awesome.
I think for me, you show me a stoker that's ever seen a Gerald R. Ford class or a Nimitz class and didn't want to get into the guts of that, and I'll show you a goddamn liar. So, yeah, one of the American super carriers would have been awesome.
Yeah. For me, can't really think of anything. No.
Tim thinking, I rest my case.
No. He's like, depends. Do any foreign armies have Land Rovers?
Well, this is the thing. The only really vehicles that we saw of foreign vehicles were stuff like the Abrams tank, which was crap. There's they had the American version of the Mastiff, but again, we had Mastiffs. The only thing that they used really that we didn't have were Humvees, which were a piece of crap, and these John Deere golf buggy type things that they drove around in.
Oh, yes.
I was like,
So we had one of them where we were. It was given to the Padre, the Australian Padre.
Yeah.
And it was the American bit of kit, but they were loving what our Padres were doing. So every Wednesday, our Padres would go over the wire into they'd alternate Iraq and Afghanistan, basically to give their own Padres a rest from administering last rites as often as they were doing. So to give them a day off, our Padres would go in and do that function. And as a result of that, they said, thank you very much, here's this vehicle. So it came to be called the Pope Mobile. And from what I understand, it's actually in the War Memorial in Canberra now.
Yeah. I remember having a conversation with our Padre when we were out there. And I said, doesn't it ever make you feel nervous that you don't carry a firearm? He said, my boy, I'm surrounded by 4,500 armed troops. If I go and use a rifle, there's something seriously gone wrong.
Yeah. That's it.
He said I couldn't be in a safer place if I tried.
Okay, so they're on. What else can I do? Because I've lost the clear bits, and I'm not that invested in trying to find them. I've looked, but
Yeah.
it's like looking for something that's see-through. You just I can't see them. But there's so much there's just so much I guess just gack on it. Like I was going to say swarf and stuff like that. It's just like every time I look at it, sort of going, I just can't be bothered trying to fashion this into something workable. Like the clear bits are really the worst part of this kit. Like everything else goes together well enough.
Yeah.
Oh, the canopy fits.
Yeah. So we've got a canopy. So far so good. I only managed to snap the little arm.
Well, that's how the wash
has
turned out. Let's see if I can focus on that. But as the oil's drying, you can see it's just gone into all the panel lines and rivets and all that sort of stuff like that. So
it looks good.
Over time, the gloss will disappear as the alcohol evaporates. But it'll just leave the panel lines. So that's that. But as you see, there's no wingtip nav light. But there we go.
Julian says, "Congrats, Nodge."
Yeah, thank you. It was weird because I never sought it. It was like they just basically offered it to me. It's like, whoa, really?
Yeah. Matthew says, "Might be brain fog or hysterics, nurse." Yeah, brain fog's starting to kick in. Duke says, "Hope Mr. Pobby doesn't have a bishop down his." Oh, better not say that. Might get banned. GM buttocks up. Just how are you drinking? Upside down, apparently. June says, "Duke, he did, but he pawned it." Matthew says, "Mikey discovering why I call them Revell kits." Yeah. I think part of it is one of the downsides of when doing it for live streams, because it goes on for months and months, because obviously we're only doing it 2 hours at a time. I just sort of get bored with this now. Come on. Especially if it's not a subject that I'm particularly interested in.
Which he secretly loves planes.
Loves it.
Yeah, he's got like a framed photo next to his bed that he kisses every night.
Kisses!
The only picture I've got next to my bed is a picture of me and Kay on our wedding day.
Him!
He just happened to get married on an airfield in front of a tornado.
Absolutely not. And I do not have a picture of me in front of a tornado.
You do. You like that Wolverine meme of him in bed, just crying, holding the frame photo.
Duke says, "Checkmate, Julian."
Where's 79? I put
Paul,
the gun barrels on. Sorry, talking about
Paul says, Today I was learning about the ring main hydraulic system. Today I was learning about the ring main hydraulic system.
When you...
FPSO hydroporn. GM says, "John, we did a show at Norimba displaying a Mirage versus the new F-18. I was passed by the F-18 after 4 laps around the airfield. It reversed at 30,000 feet. Amusing fun." There we go.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah, Moz says, "Good evening."
Hello, Moz.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Moz. Both time frames. Yeah. So we had I think I mentioned, I don't know. We had one of the F-35 pilots come down and give us a spiel at the safety day last week at Fighter World, and he was talking about how much fun it is to fly a plane that you don't have to GM will tell you. I've never flown it, but staying alive in a Mirage is not always a given. Whereas the F-35s, in some cases, they just fly themselves. I'm not just talking about autopilot or whatever, but there's modes with the B model where you can just literally hit a button The most dangerous part of flying the Harrier is all just hit a button and it'll just do it itself, and that would take a big load off, I think, pilots' thought processes. It's an amazing bit of kit, but again, like I'm going to say it out loud, amazing bit of kit that Artemis taking off, right? So how come it's the only thing that guy didn't name after himself or turn up at the opening of? Like, wouldn't you want to go and watch that? Like, or is he just going to rather sit in his office and say, "Look at this Sharpie"?
Okay. Moss GM says, no, Waitrose says, God damn it. Loved my L3A41 Sterling Mark V, hating my Browning 9mm. Really wanted a Franchi Spaz 12 shotgun. Yeah. Browning 9mm was crap.
I've only fired it once, and just we had a lot of rounds left over, and they just wanted to get rid of them all. So they basically said, like,
Trying to hit that wall.
No, the targets that are held up on posts are just like, just swack the shit out of them. So we went through hundreds of rounds just because we could.
Yeah.
The F88 Steyrs going on full auto. Usually you didn't do that, but they were just like, push a button in and just hold the trigger down, and it's a bit of fun. It's the only time I had fun in a range. I hated shooting.
I enjoyed shooting.
Yeah, I loved it. I was a sucker for range day.
Yeah.
Oh no, it just sucked ass. The only time I had fun is in doing it in the back of the trailer of a truck in the Middle East.
Well, you're left-handed, but are you left-eye dominant as well, or are you one of those half and half? So you're right-eye dominant, left-handed.
No, I'm. I shoot with left, left eye, and all that sort of stuff like that. That's the only bit of fun. If you pick up somebody else's weapon, like somebody picked up my weapon in recruits, and as he was firing it, like the spent rounds are hitting his chin.
Yeah.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Getting brass down the shirt. Yeah.
Oh, it's hot! It's hot! Ow! Ow! What's that? What's that? Ow! And I'm just like, ah.
It'd be even worse if they tried to do that with an SA-80. They get a bloody bolt. Cocking handle in the chin.
But I wasn't bad at shooting. I got some pretty good groups and stuff compared to every time I went. I was. Are you
saying you even shot the wrong way around? You even used a rifle the wrong way around?
What do I mean? With the left hand?
Yes.
Well,
you even did that backwards.
It was designed to shoot. You grab a left-handed weapon and it's fine. They allow for us. It's fine. It's just it just never interested me. Just it was never fun.
Which is problem. It's a good job you joined the Air Force, then, isn't it?
Oh, you're not wrong. Weapon fires, weapon stops. Till the clock, look in.
One thing I did notice.
And numb the magazine. Benefit of the doubt, first time.
One thing I did
carry on with the action. Go on.
One thing I did notice when I came back from Iraq was my shooting was really bad. For some reason, no matter what I did, I could not hit the target. And I think it's something to do with the psychology rather than being able to shoot. Because before I went out there, I was fine. I was hitting figure 12 targets at 200 meters, no problems. But when I came back, I couldn't do it. It was just missing it all the time, no matter what I did.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, my first qual shoot on the range, I got really nice grouping and stuff, and then my guy told me that I'd been shooting at the target next to me.
The next one, yeah,
shooting the next lane over. He's like, really good. Now shoot your target.
So I remember at rookies, the guy next to me, our corporal came over with binoculars and he's just having a look. And so you'd be shooting 300-meter range, and one of your course mates would be next to you with a pair of binoculars, and they're just sort of marking you're meant to declare yourself, good shot, bad shot, and all that sort of stuff. And Matty O'Meara said to the corporal, he said, "I can't see where these rounds are landing, corporal." And the corporal would just say, "Yeah, it's because they're all going in the same hole." Yeah. So that was all right, but as I say, I didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah. Julian says, Gary just wanted to be Neo in the Matrix, didn't you? GM, I did have a Rolls-Royce V12 in my bedroom for a while. Wife said it was too heavy to move for room cleaning. I put 4 trolley wheels on it. She would smack me. Adam, I miss cadets. I always wonder what would be up to right now if I went through with basic. Yeah. Modern warfare is very different to when we were in.
Kids these days.
Especially land warfare.
Boats haven't changed much.
Yeah. Well, land warfare, if you think about it, I left in... Did I leave? 2012.
Yeah.
And we were sort of the last sort of generation of soldiers that did conventional warfare rather than just... Because, even when I was in Iraq, drones and things, rather than massive predator drones or whatever, or Reapers, or they were something that the SAS used or something. They weren't, a normal part of the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
And it's completely different now. All the electronic warfare stuff. I look at some of the gear now and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah. It's interesting, but, I'm just glad none of us are sort of running over there now because, totally unnecessary.
Yeah. Waitrose says, managed to get rid of the Browning and get a Ruger Red Wing instead.
Oh, I love those drinks. It does sound like an alcoholic bevy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
76.
When we were in it was either a Browning or a Glock.
Yeah, they don't taste that good.
No. Julie says, no Duke, she's Polish, not Czech. Yeah, it looks kind of like a rocket thing.
Yeah, bugger.
Julian says, Jem, reminds me of the joke about the wife asking her husband if he'd been buying guns again. He said, only one, not mentioning it was a tank.
That's good. Just one. All right.
Waitrose says, yes, Nodge, you could throw the empties at them.
Talking about modern warfare and all that sort of stuff, one of the things I love is like when we first got back to the J models, when we first got them, the people, their boiler was classic, not plastic, for instance. So here we are, like their aircraft were retired in 2010. And I was never against those aircraft, the earlier ones, the E's and H's, because I learned them. That's how I knew about Hercs and why I was selected for the J course. But they retired theirs in 2010, and we had bought ours on 10 years earlier, so 1999. So here we are, more than 25 years later, and Australia's replacing their J model Hercules with 20. We have 12. We're replacing with 20 J model Hercules. It's exactly the same aircraft with bits of improvement here and there, but it's the same mark. So it's just a testament to how well this aircraft is designed.
Yeah. Other than size, I've never really understood why the RAF got rid of the Herc and replaced it with the A400. Because the A400 isn't as capable as the Herc is.
Yeah, it can do a lot of amazing stuff, but not everything is long range. You need the short, the dirt strip landings, and the wing, the wingspan is always a factor.
Yeah.
You can't, there's always going to be a use for something smaller. And we bought something smaller again, the C-27J.
Yeah.
Which same architecture, avionics as the C-130J, but it's an Italian airframe with 2 engines instead of 4.
Yeah. Well, the other thing with the Hercules as well is it's got really good survivability, hasn't it?
They do. Yeah. They don't tend to get shot at much.
They take
a
lot of punishment.
They have a fair bit of redundancy.
As long as the loadies keep the bolts tightened up when they're flying.
Yeah.
I always lean towards like procuring tried and tested stuff anyway, rather than getting on all these bloody new programs to develop crap.
Yeah.
Like I understand there's like a lot of money and stuff, and there's domestic manufacturing and all those sort of political things to consider. But it's stuff like why were we trying to like make our own frigates and stuff based on like German designs instead of buying Arleigh Burkes, like back in the day, before the whole Anzac program. Arleigh Burke is still a great platform. Like they're only kind of getting replaced now, but yeah, I like the old stuff. So the Black Hawks, tried to replace them with the MRH-60, which was pretty naff from the hop, and like they were less capable in terms of like self-defense and stuff than Black Hawks, which meant you had to send Tigers with them, and Tigers suck because we got those instead of Apaches.
Yeah.
But like we've rectified that now. But yeah, we've gone the long way around because we keep bloody overcomplicating stuff. Like, I don't know. I just go, well, who's actually using them? And you go, yep, cool, tried, tested, proven. Buy those. But yeah, this is why I'm not a politician.
So here's another fun Herc fact, because I'm full of them. So this is a coaster from the first flight, August 23rd, 1954. So you can look at that and you think, well, it looks like a Herc. It's got a different nose, right? But yeah, it's different engines, and top of the fin is slightly different and all that sort of stuff. But it's, the first two are made in Burbank, California. Every other one has been built in Marietta in Georgia. But what's interesting is when they designed it, the projected service life was 5 years, and total flying life in all air forces 15 years, and then there'd be no more flying, and they'd be replaced by the next best thing, and they're still building them.
Yeah,
it's so bloody good.
Yeah. Can't defeat just a good frame.
Yeah.
Kelly Johnson, the head of the Skunk Works at Lockheed at the time, said, if you build this, it'll be the end of Lockheed. You'll kill us.
And they built it anyway.
They built it anyway. Because, he was working on the, it was secret then, but he was working on the F-104 Starfighter, which is one of the biggest losses of money that Lockheed ever made. So, Kelly Johnson, not that much of a genius after all.
Mission failed successfully.
Jem says, John, yes, the older aircraft force used to think 100 mile an hour ahead of the aircraft. The younger guys would struggle. That's when I would pounce.
Yeah.
He also says, Julian, a friend of mine, had a gun barrel from a Centurion tank in his living room, an armoured live round in a wooden box next to it. Dieter, I leave you guys for 30 minutes and we're back at bad puns and dad jokes. Well done, crew. Adam, I was going into intelligence corps as an officer. Sandhurst was nice, at least. Yeah, they taught out of date tactics, though, which isn't helpful. Jem says, Hagrid, don't leave us alone. You see what happens. Yeah, because we had a young second lieutenant fresh out of Sandhurst giving us a lecture on what to do if you come under contact. And he said, if you come under contact, go for cover at the side in the ditches at the side of the roads, return fire, and then pepper pot up the road. And I was like, sir, that's horribly out of date information that will get you killed. And he went, what do you mean? I said, well, that's where the ditches are, where the Taliban that hide the IEDs. If we jump into there, we're going to die. I said the practice now is to just go down on one knee and use, because you've got massive body armor on the front anyway, is let your body armor absorb the rounds and just keep going forwards.
Imagine he hits you with the Merry and Pippin logic from Lord of the Rings. No, the ditch is where you want to go. The closer you are to danger, the further away you are from harm. Oh.
Jim says, Hagrid, don't leave us. I've just read that one. Adam says, I have a few things I could say about the training during the commissioning course. Yeah.
That's what we got to say about that.
Where have I put the screws?
We had some really bad officers. Officers.
Oh.
We had one that was so bad that he was kicked out of our unit and got sent to another unit, and that unit went and mutinied.
No, that was Band of Brothers.
Apparently the entire company mutinied because they didn't want him in charge anymore because he was that bad. And he was
no such thing as bad officers, just bad troops. No.
Badly led. Jem, a friend went through Sandhurst. He was a bit odd after that. Was never sure what they did to him in there. Julian, joke Royal Navy annual review. The officers' men would follow him anywhere, but only out of a feeling of morbid curiosity.
Yeah, I love that.
Neil, there was a C-130A at Greenham Common, 1979, fiscal year 54. Tennessee and missing the normal nose.
Oh, yeah, Tennessee, A&G, Air National Guard.
Yeah, makes sense.
They're territorials, reservists. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, for 30 seconds, let's do an inbox review of Heller instructions, right? So one of the things is on the boxes, they have downloadable instructions. So these are the instructions that come with it. Very nice, very glossy, nice and colorful. So everything is the colors that you're going to want to paint them and stuff like that. So that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's the colors, right? So 19, 40, 80, M2, and M3. So the colors are written at the front.
Uh-huh.
Right. I've just worked it out. Okay, so I couldn't work out what M2 and M3 were. I was looking up the thing and I couldn't find it. So I downloaded the earlier instructions from the Heller website. And in the same step, for instance, which is here.
Which is
there. So down the bottom, it's got M2 equals 4 drops of paint 40 and 1 drop of 80, for instance.
Yeah.
Right. So they're missing from there.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a problem. But then again, I've only just now seen that at the beginning, it's got M1 as a mix of that and another. I didn't see that earlier. But yeah, it's not that good. But we'll see how it goes.
Really?
That's how it'll be. Bit bright.
Yeah. Ooh. Jeez, it looks like bloody Australian surf lifesaving.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Boom. What do we got? 20 minutes left.
Yep.
I've got time. What else? As I said, I can't put clear bits on. So what I do have is, there is a bit I can paint. So that's pretty much done, right?
Yeah.
But here's a thing that I think I mentioned before is I built the same kit previously as a GR.1 from early ones, the ones that you guys are doing. So that's it there. So again, it's like the 48 scale one I did. I did this one as 617 Dam Buster Squadron.
Yeah.
So this is using paint masks to get the camouflage correct. That's a top mask.
Yeah.
Top mask set. And it's got all the resin Boz Pod, which I just snapped off. I can't remember the name of them now. JP233 airfield denial weapons and Sky Shadow pods. So yeah, that's come up all right.
Yeah.
They look okay together.
Yeah. Where did we get to with the comments?
I need to put that back on now.
Gem Timmah, I met too many clockwork oranges in the commissioned ranks. It was a constant fight to be rid of them. Duke, that plane looks like McDonald's delivery plane, John. Julian says, I think Helle do good kits, but I've seen a few unboxings of their starter sets, normal kits with paints that usually have very little, if anything, to do with the actual kit painting instructions.
Yeah, like the Concord starter set has white paint, blue and red. So no matter how you look at it, you think, well, they won't have enough white and there's no red on it. So, they should have 2 lots of white and 1 metal, really.
Deet says, Canadair kit. Hope they've retooled it a bit. Have that kit too. Revell rebox with Canadian markings. Those rivets were way too raised.
They are very raised. Yeah. I think I'll sand them down a bit.
And he made it a Pelican with Cy-Hart decals, by the way.
Oh, nice. So Cy-Hart, from memory, are a French firm.
Yeah. They're where I got the anniversary livery for a 6 Squadron growler.
Oh, right.
That I did. They were Cy-Hart decals. Very impressed with those.
Miracles. Oh, God.
Yeah.
So the VOR antenna on top of the fin, what number are they? What part number?
Moz says, Julian, now new Helle never do start sets. They just do model sets. They release a kit, then release again with paints, glue, brush as model set. Don't be confused by the name.
Yeah. So one of the things I've been asked to do is prove to people that Helle kits come a long way. I did have a look at their tracker. One of the guys in headquarters did make up the tracker, half painted and the other half plastic, and it looked pretty bloody good actually. But I'll be doing the older, troublesome kits just to see how bad they were. I did build a couple of them back in the day. So I built one of the large 1 to 12 scale Formula 1 cars, a Renault RE20, I believe it was.
Yeah.
No, it was earlier than that. It was anyway. Either way, and it wasn't as good as a Timmah one, but it's not bad.
Yeah. Jim says, John, that Helle F86 makes a good conversation on conversion into the CAC Sabre. Mods at cannon openings and some vents.
Oh, nice. 152.
Dieter, correct Cy-Hart are French based. Do not do a lot of French, Belgian, Canadian, and special liveries. There we go.
Yeah, very good. I've not used them because I don't believe I've done any French ones, but I am keen to learn.
Yeah, they do some they do some Australian liveries.
I'm tempted. Modder's got me that Rolls Royce armoured car for my birthday.
Yes.
I am tempted to get another one and do that World War II scheme on it. The one with the RF roundel on the top.
Oh, yeah, that is pretty snazzy.
It does look cool, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There they are. Okay. Let's move that aside.
Get on there, you bastard.
Julian, Nodge, in one Helle start set, they gave whole bottles for a tiny bit on a headrest, and gun muzzle and nothing for one of the enclosed paint schemes. Yeah, well, you can't expect to get everything. Hobby Time says, hey, Moz. And Dieter, they will issue a new set for a Belgian F-16 later this year and have 2 big sets in 172nd for water bombers and associated aircraft. Still got the set on the side of my 215 Canadair still in stash.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Moz says,
should be interesting.
Yeah.
Moz says, hi. Sorry, Moz says, hi, Hobby Time. This is a Canadair 415. So it has different engines. So these are turboprop. as opposed to the other piston ones. But the other main differences is these massive fins on the horizontal stab.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about them is from the top, as you can probably see there, they are very offset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just a little
that
bit.
should be interesting.
Yeah, there you go.
Now,
I think once they're varnished, they'll look somewhat like they should. Moss says, have you built a helikit, Julian?
hello, yeah.
I've got the Petty Great. Well, me and Kay are doing it together because we've got one each. Dean says, yes, Hele is no longer French. B2 Glow took over the company.
Yeah, German, from what I understand.
Yeah. Ooh, got 22 likes and 20 watching. Nice. Jem says, my Hele Saber screams at me to build it. Build it now. Build me! In a French accent.
No, I would do a let's see, 827 and a heartbeat. Absolutely.
Deed says, yes, that kit's the 415 and the offset is genuine. June says, by the way, Hele says start kit on the website and box art. Yeah. Deet says, a new Canada is being developed, the 615, which will replace the 415 in the coming years.
There you go.
Oh, God. Tiff says, I want to get some of the red true metallic metal for my helikit. Yeah. That look good, that will.
All right.
Oh, it could do worse.
Where's that other bloody thing?
Yeah.
I've made a mistake. I've put down one of the little clear wing light thingies. Aha! Found it. Didn't make a mistake. It was as I planned the whole time. Shut up, Mikey.
Yeah.
Didn't say a word, buddy.
I think that was a dirty trick you just played there, Mike. I mean, you should be ashamed of yourself. Like, take a long, good, hard look at yourself.
Yeah. Anyway, Sky Shadow and the Boss Pods, are they just grey, John?
On these ones, yeah. I have painted the antenna housings in like a it's olive drab, really.
Yeah.
But there you go. What I don't have is, let's see if that works. Do you reckon I got them lined up? No. Let's fix that.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that was a bit drunk.
Surprisingly, mine have actually stayed on since the beginning of the build.
Okay, I'm going to raise that one up. Raise me up. There we go.
Yeah, I haven't lost either of those.
There we go.
GM says, John, the model is based on the Arenda engine, which a copy of the Avon has a larger square air intake.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit. Just backhanded the tornado across the desk. Don't do that. You break it.
Cool. Now I need, the last thing I want to do, I believe, is a little bit of Monica in my life.
I think I need to put some green on these big fuel tanks. But other than that, they just need varnishing and I can put them on. It'll be done. Except for doors there.
Come here, buddy.
But I need to varnish it over the decals. And then take the tape off. But that's for another day. And not another stream. In fact, I might leave it. If I leave it on my desk, I'll probably end up doing it tonight.
I've got to find the little antenna thingies, but other than that,
Deet says, other heli kits I got are the 172nd E3 Sentry and the big fire engine old timer. I've got a big fire engine to do at some point.
That's what she said.
The big tactical fire truck.
Go, you big red fire engine.
Well, it's a tactical one, so it's supposed to be green, but Nick wants me to do it red. And since he sent it me, I think it's only fair. And I think it would look interesting. Deet says, waiting for the C2 Greyhound in 172nd if it ever comes out. Ooh, I could do it as like a red Thunderbird truck. It kind of looks like a Thunderbird truck.
You look like a Thunderbird truck.
Got him. You want some water for that burn?
Deet says, waiting for the C2. I've just read that one. Matthew says, Fireman Sam's upgrade. Yeah.
Are the little antennas midships? Are they just painted whatever the camouflage is there?
They tend to be black.
They Batman about it.
Yeah, they tend to be black, but they tend to get knocked off on every bloody model I've made of tornadoes as well. So if anything, they have what we call goop on the leading edge, just an anti-erosion strip, but the rest of it will be, it's black.
All right, well, we've got 7 minutes. Let's see if I can beat the clock here.
Just trying to clean the paint off my hands.
Right. So what's the last? Oh, just a bit of paint. Let's go. I've got 5 minutes. Get a bit of...
Yeah. I've got this to a point where I'm happy, and if I get proper stuff to give it like a wash and go back and stuff, I can just go back and do a little further weathering. But
yeah,
you know, I'll put this on the shelf and not feel terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know, feel terrible, but I'm just like, I'm over it now.
Yeah, so I have the same feeling. Just because I've just done a tornado, that's the only reason. Like I have enjoyed it, but only as much as I can enjoy grey planes. I don't tend to like grey jets.
Yeah.
Just because, like, this is as colourful as you can get a grey jet, but there's still not much to that, is there? But it comes up all right. It looks like a Tonka. It's not perfect, but I'm losing half the decals because I had used them on the previous build. For instance, around the engine, the turbine areas and stuff like that. Like all these ones, well, you can't see because it's dirty. All the red ones that are along there and stuff like that. But, like that. But I'd much rather colour of those two. That one by far. But no, I have enjoyed it. It's just just another tornado because I've just done one.
Yeah. Adam says, yes, the iPad will be here Sunday. Wonderful. Glad to hear it.
Job done.
Cool. Yeah. Well, that's the tornado stream's done with.
Oh, yeah, it's still got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I think another thing I might go back and do is carefully just go back with a lighter grey and a bit of a lighter green. Like, obviously not redoing it and stuff, but just, a bit more variation and stuff in the middle of those panels and things, just because I prefer that look. But yeah. Let's see.
Yeah. Mine looks like a toy, but I'm not bothered. It's a jet.
4 minutes.
Dry.
Things on it.
One thing I've never claimed to be is a good modeler.
Where's... Cripes. There it is.
Duke says, looking forward to the Lysander, guys. Yeah. See, I don't know why, but propeller plane I enjoy a lot more than jets. I don't know why. Like I really enjoy doing the Sea Fury. And there's
I think
Mark 19 Spitfire 14.
I think I'm inclined to agree with you, but like my reasoning is it feels more like you're doing the plane. Whereas with a lot of like fast wing jets and stuff, I feel like I spend almost as long doing armaments.
Yes. Well, goes back to what I was saying last week, wasn't it? It's all the bombs, though. It's like, can't be asked. But it just doesn't look right without them.
Yeah, it definitely looks better with the bombs.
Yeah, it's unnecessary, necessary evil. Jim says, recovering my eyesight after another of my least favorite model airplane exercises, masking clear parts with smear tape and a sharp X-Acto blade. Yeah, that's always fun. GM says, Tonkers are toys. Get a real aircraft with a propeller, Mikey. Well, we're doing the Lysander next week, hopefully. If not, because we've all agreed that we want to start when Mr. Morris is with us. So, if not, what do we want to do? If he's not available.
Well, say if he's not available next week, he probably won't be available for the weeks going forward, though. So, like, let's decide in the next week. And if we have to surprise people, we surprise people.
Yeah. We've got plenty of stuff we can be getting on with anyway.
Oh, what's that? 10:59. All right.
So, members' choice builds tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
there we go. Well done, Tim.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Looks good.
Awesome.
Nice.
Good enough. And there's his little antennas. one minute before time. So
Oh, damn it. I didn't paint mine black. Oh, dear.
Well done.
yeah.
Julian says, maybe with propeller aircraft, there is more engineering engine bits involved, Mikey, so you like them more. So, Tim. Yeah. But like Tim said, there's less munitions as well. You're focusing more on the actual aircraft. And there's a lot more interesting history, I think. Jim says, huzzah, Tim. And Julian says, Tim, nudge, those are looking great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. So that's us done. Oh, and Matthew says, Timmah, do an Orc F-15. F-14.
That would be pretty cool.
Yes.
Flown by Mavrock.
Yeah. That'd be funny, actually. Yeah. Back to
Can
the
you
members.
imagine you've lost that loving feeling. You go, yeah.
Yeah. Members choice tomorrow. So I'm doing the ARL 44 tank. Yeah.
I'm doing the B-47 Stratojet.
Yeah. And Tim's painting his figurines.
And I am painting.
That looks cool in black and white, to be fair.
Yeah. I'm so happy with how the base came up. Yeah. So yeah, we'll be able to slap a little bit of paint on that and work out next steps.
Yeah.
I'm very keen to paint this. It's been staring at me.
Yeah. So yeah, don't forget tonight we've got Wait Rose's live stream at 8:00. Other than that, we are back tomorrow, 12 till 2. Until then, Hulvar for now.
Oh, road.
See ya.